Hey guys, it's Rush. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. This video is a perspective on Ken and Street Fighter 6 after Beta 3. So I've played in all three betas. Beta 1, Beta 2 I didn't play that much, but I feel like this open beta we had just recently, I invested more time and I got to play with the drive system a little more. So I wanted to share my thoughts just on the character and some of the things that I'm sort of doing or looking at with Ken in Street Fighter 6. Okay guys, so Street Fighter 6 is a very different game and Ken in Street Fighter 6 is very different to Street Fighter 5. What I'll quickly show you now is the way the frame data works. The training mode is really good in this game because it tells you a lot of information. So you can see here, if I hit Luke with my stand jab, you can see it actually tells you the startup of the move. The startup is 4 frames, the total animation is 13 frames, and the recovery, I don't really like the word recovery, but the frame advantage after landing my jab is 4 frames. You can see I'm +4. That will naturally go into another jab because, you know, jab is 4 frames. That combos or links naturally. Stand like kick is a 5 frame button in this game, so if I do jab, stand jab, stand like it doesn't combo because this is only +4 on hit. So that's the way to use the frame data tool in game in training mode. Out of interest, crouch jab is +5, so that does combo into stand like kick because this is 5 frames, and it will combo into stand medium punch, which is basically the start of chin buster. So that's kind of how frame data works. That gives you like an overview of them, you know, how to read that information in game. But variables that will change this, and this is no different initially. If I do always counter, but counter hits increase the frame advantage by 2 frames, which is no different. Punish counters increase the frame data by 4 frames, which is pretty mad. So the way this works is a counter hit is if you interrupt the opponent's startup. A punish counter is if you attack the opponent, connect with the opponent during their recovery. So that's very important. So think of it like crush counters. You kind of get like a crush counter if you punish someone's recovery, but instead of getting crush counters now, if you interrupt their startup with certain buttons, you always just get a regular counter if you interrupt startup of a move. Now that's universal for all characters in this game. That's where the counter it and the punish counters come into play in this game. So there's that, and there's also one more thing you need to be aware of. So if you look at my crouch medium punch, see how it's +3. If I do if I do crouch medium punch into drive rush crouch medium punch, look how my crouch medium punch now is +7. The reason why the second crouch medium punch is +7 is because drive rush will add 4 frames of advantage to all moves on on block and on hit. So my +3 becomes +7 in that scenario, and that enables you to get all sorts of different combos. So the combo routes are wild in this game because frame data it vastly changes so much. So try and give you an example. So if I do crouch medium kick, you can see that's -2 on hit, -2 frames. If I do this into drive rush, I can actually do a combo. So this will not combo into anything because it's -2, right? Drive rush enables me to combo this into something. So how to explain this? It enables you to combo moves that wouldn't normally combo, but look what also happens. I get a +7 scenario here, so I can do that string should work. I don't recommend it, I'm just doing it for like a demonstration purpose. I can't do crouch and medium punch, crouch and medium kick, it doesn't combo. But if I do a drive rush off this button, it enables me to link into more things, and I get extra frame advantage off the crouch and medium punch, meaning I can do different things off the crouch and medium punch after the drive rush. It's pretty mad. There's a lot to take on board there in terms of the way combos work, but drive rush enables you to combo things you don't normally combo. It kind of like breaks the how to explain it, it breaks the animation of the game, enabling you to link things that wouldn't normally link. And then plus frames off the drive rush button, again, give you just additional plus frames. So that's actually like a bread and butter combo, this. So I don't actually think, so it doesn't, yeah, that won't work, unfortunately. I think stand heavy punch is 10 frames. Crouching heavy punch is 8 frames, I think. Yeah, 8 frames, 10 frames. They're quite slow button. So my bread and butter off crouching medium kick drive rush is, I go for that. And that basically is crouch medium punch drive rush into chin buster into run heavy punch DP. To further confuse things, if I set this now to counter hit, to always counter, I should be able to get crouching medium kick drive rush into a 9 frame button, I want to say. So crouching heavy punch would actually work. Let's try this now. Yeah, so that works now. So the reason that works is because off of the counter hit, I'll get an additional 2 frames of advantage after I go into drive rush. So this increases my combo potential in that scenario. It gets very confusing. I won't lie, it gets very confusing in terms of frame data. If I change this now to always punish counter, that will give you 4 frames of advantage after I do the drive. So when I go into drive rush, and that will then enable me to do this stand heavy punch, which is a 10 frame button. Then I can do this. I think combos in after drive rush. Stand heavy punch will go into chin buster. Yeah. So you can see the combo potential racks up based off of counter hit, punish counter, and drive rush. There's 3 variables there you have to take into account. So as you can see, frame data is quite confusing in this game. I'm going to do something now. So I'm going to change the counter hit state. I do always counter. So remember before where I said it was crouching medium kick into crouching medium punch? If you do drive rush. Because of the counter hit now, I actually get more frame advantage, meaning I can then go into crouch heavy punch. So counter hit off the crouch medium kick gives me an additional 2 frames, meaning I can get more than just a crouch medium punch now. So I can get a crouch heavy punch. I'm not saying do that, I'm just showing you that you can do that. And if you get a punish counter, crouch medium kick, and you go into drive rush, you should get, stand heavy punch. So there's so many variables. The variables are initially before drive rush, the variables are, is it a counter hit? Is it a punish counter? Then you have to think of how much extra frame advantage you have. And then with that frame advantage, the button you then use can potentially change if you wanted to. And then you get a bigger reward. So stock combo would be that. Crouch medium punch, after the drive rush, chin buster, run into heavy DP. The flaming heavy DP, which we'll talk about in a second. But then if I do a punish counter version, same combo, but I get more damage because I can utilize a heavy punch in that combo because of the frame data changes. It's actually wild, it's mad. So there's a lot to take on board in terms of frame data, but just remember the variables are counter hit, punish counter, and the plus frames off of drive rush. On hit you get bigger combos, on block you get more frame advantage. So strings in this game, how to explain this? So I think if you're going to pressure the opponent with strings, you want to use light buttons predominantly, because they will frame trap. I can show you this now. So if I do crouch light kick into jab, Luke should be pressing Luke is pressing his crouch jab, which is 4 frames. If you do crouch light kick into crouch jab, it frame traps. It just does by design. You can string this into stand jab, and you can get a counter it confirm, which is confirmable, into heavy DP. This string should all combo as well. Try it. Yeah, so you get a 3-hit combo there, which will go into heavy DP as well. That's a nice string because, like I said, it frame traps, it all combos naturally. As long as you point blank against the opponent, it all works. And you can, and I say can, potentially use counter to score bigger combos. So you see that? I did crouch light kick, crouch jab, and a counter it, crouch jab will go into crouch medium kick. But I don't advise this because of this reason. For exactly that reason. Drive impact you have to respect all the time. And if you're using a string like this, the crouch light kick into crouch jab is fine, but you must react to what the opponent's doing. If I repeat this now, you want to be ready to go into drive impact at all times. So there I did the string, and with the string I saw the drive impact. I mean, I don't care what was happening in terms of my hits. I saw drive impact and I went from the jab into my own drive impact to avoid being drive impact. Does that make sense? You don't want to use, you definitely don't want to string mediums. Mediums are too slow, and you don't want to string for too long in this game because it's risky. So that string has potential, but you've got to pay attention to what the opponent's doing. And if they do drive impact, you must counter it. That'll work as well. Level 3, you know, you must look for drive impact all the time. So that's my advice on strings. I think strings stick to lights because they frame trap, which is really good. So you get frame traps without drive rush, which is nice, but you've got to dance around drive impact. You must, because you can't risk that scenario from using a long string. I had a few questions in stream about how to get the run into specials off of Chinbuster. The key is you slightly delay the run. So do the run on the actual second hit, but you must immediately do the special after the run, else it won't combo. So just do it as quick as possible. If you delay the special move, it will not hit, it will whiff, and the timing's quite tight. So just remember to instantly input the run in that scenario. It's also worth noting you can do step kick off of Chinbuster after the run. That's kind of nice if you want to go for level 2 or level 1 super, in my opinion. I think it's the optimal route. So you can do the run into level 1, level 2, which is very nice. The only time you get plus frames off of the run is off crouching heavy punch. So crouching heavy punch, run into run stop, light kick, makes you +3. That means that if you get a counter hit into run, you'll be +5. If you get punish counter into run stop, you'll be +7. So I think if you were to do always punish counter, so if you get a punish counter into run stop, you should be going for like Chinbuster. I feel that's a reasonable follow-up. So you can do that combo without, so you get that without drive rush, without anything, because it combos naturally. So crouch heavy punch, punish counter into run stop, Chinbuster, and then your chosen follow-up. The inputs are to do that is quite tricky because you have to do, again, you have to go run, press the light kick to stop the run, and then do your button afterwards. So it takes practice to do that. But I think you should be looking for that, especially on the punish counter, because punish counter you have 7 frames of advantage. That gives you some leniency before going into Chinbuster. So lastly about Chinbuster. Chinbuster is a true string, much like Street Fighter 5, but you can delay it, the frame trap. And you don't need to delay it as much as Street Fighter 5. So a slight delay will actually frame trap a person's button. What's cool about Street Fighter 6 is, if you do that, you can you can autopilot into OD Fireball, EX Fireball, which is fine. But you can confirm this now because you have your super. You can confirm into level 2 and level 3 in that scenario. So you can frame trap, make it safe with the OD Fireball. OD Fireball is +2 on block, but also confirm the sequence into level 2, level 3. This is also good in the corner because you get similar follow-ups to Street Fighter 5. You can do that. That's actually a legit frame trap. And you can confirm the X Fireball into the DP. You can do regular Fireball, but regular Fireball I feel is quite negative in this game. I forget how negative. I think it's quite negative, but you can see there certain spacing it's hard to punish. So you could frame trap with regular Fireball if you wanted to, but yeah, I'll leave that down to you. But I just want to demonstrate that for you guys. So Ken's hit confirms in this game. His confirmable buttons are stand medium punch, which is the chin buster. You do have to be a bit quicker to get this sequence, but you can use that, much like we did in Street Fighter 5. I think it actually does work entirely in the same way it did in Street Fighter 5. It just got less range. That's the only difference I find. And the input, it's just medium punch. It's not back medium punch now. Stand heavy punch is very confirmable. So yeah, you can confirm this into all sorts of things. So Tatsu generally is my go-to for this button because if you're at the right range, you can go into like Tatsu DP. There's all sorts of follow-ups. There's all sorts of things you can do after stand heavy punch. Stand medium kick is confirmable target combo, but I'm gonna be honest, you can't use this in the same way that we use it in Street Fighter 5 because of drive rush. If you use this button willy-nilly, and sorry, not drive rush, drive impact. If they do drive impact, it'll blow this up because if you confirm this into the second medium kick, you've already got hit by drive impact. You've actually got hit, and that's it. Yeah, you're getting punished for your troubles. This should be used as a whiff punish, really, more than anything else, in my opinion. Stand heavy kick as well can be confirmed, but this is confirmed on punish counter, a bit like the crush counters from Street Fighter 5. Difference between crush counter and punish counter is you're only granted a punish counter during the recovery of a move. But yeah, this can be confirmed at the very minimum OD Tatsu, but you can do things like that. So you can do a drive rush after the attack into stand heavy punch, and then the flaming heavy DP. So you basically do stand heavy punch into run into DP, and you can, it's a bit tricky, but you can do raw run into heavy DP as well. That does work, and that's quite good. I think that's actually better than the OD Tatsu, actually. That's good as well, but the timing's quite tight on that. So I think in terms of confirms, just raw, that's how you do confirms in this game. So the way drive impact works in 6, if you do a drive impact and it hits them, they'll bounce off the corner and you get a juggle. So that's like a basic combo. You can do stand heavy punch into run, then heavy DP. If you want to be more creative, you can do the Jinrai kick combos. I don't know them very well, but it's like a basic one. If they block as well, they're actually still wall splatted. So you can see they're still in a juggle state. The same combos apply. The only difference is if the opponent gets crushed in the corner, same like mid-screen, then they're actually grounded. See? So you get a grounded follow-up. So you do have to remember that when you land drive impact. So it's only when you crush the opponent do they remain grounded. So that's it for this video. This is just a foundational video in terms of Ken in Street Fighter 6, building upon the bread and butter video I did before, which is quite bare bones. There's a bit more meat on this video. I look at the character and the system in a bit more depth. My investment in this game is still quite low at this current time, so you should be watching people like Muscle Noob, Angry Bird, Big Bird, Chris Tartarian, Kazi is creating all kinds of combo tech videos. War Warrior has come back. I'm sure he'll be making Street Fighter 6 videos. Ken. So I think they're the ones to watch moving forwards in terms of Ken tech and Ken tips. But yeah, I feel this is a solid foundation into what the character can actually do, in my opinion. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed watching. Any questions, any queries, as always, give me a shout. And yeah, links to those content creators in the video description. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll potentially catch you in a future video. Take care.